This tiny 1982 dime might look like pocket change to most people, but hidden inside its design and minting history lies a world of mystery, errors, and lost value that could make you thousands without you even knowing it. Collectors are chasing one specific variation of this coin like treasure hunters, and if you have one sitting in your drawer, you might be holding one of the rarest dimes in American history. Old Coins Value, where today we dive deep into the story of a small yet powerful coin. The 1982 one-dime coin. The Roosevelt Dime may seem ordinary, but the 1982 edition carries one of the most fascinating legacies in United States coinage history. To understand its significance, we must begin not in 1982 but in 1946, when the Roosevelt Dime was first introduced to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. The dime replaced the Mercury dime, which had been in circulation since 1916, with a new design by John R. Sinnock. The Roosevelt dime featured a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust," along with the year of minting. This new design came to symbolize American resilience post-World War II, and quickly became a trusted staple in commerce. Fast forward to 1982, and the coin world was undergoing subtle but critical changes. For decades, dimes had been minted with certain predictable characteristics, but in the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint started making significant shifts due to rising costs and production needs. One of the major changes was the removal of mint marks from coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint up until 1980. Coins from Philadelphia typically bore no mint mark, but starting in 1980, the Mint began adding a small P to coins produced there. However, 1982 threw a curveball into this trend, and this is where the story gets extremely interesting and valuable. In 1982, a number of Roosevelt dimes were struck without the P mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint, despite the policy change that all coins from Philly should now bear that letter. Collectors quickly took notice because it meant a new and rare mint error had entered circulation. What made this situation even more compelling was that these no-P dimes weren't supposed to exist yet. Thousands found their way into the public's hands unknowingly over the years. Most were spent forgotten or lost, but a small number were preserved, and today command significant value at auctions and among collectors. The missing mint mark error makes the 1982 no-P Roosevelt dime one of the most desirable errors of the 1980s. There are two main types of 1982 Roosevelt dimes that intrigue collectors: the standard ones with the P and D mint marks and the ultra-rare 1982 no-P dimes. The no-P dimes were only found in coins struck early in the year, and were limited to a very small portion of the total mintage from Philadelphia. The error was believed to be caused by a worn die that had not yet been punched with the mint mark, leading to thousands of blank dimes entering circulation. Before the issue was corrected, this error would never be repeated in quite the same way, making it a true one-time fluke that defines the 1982 dime's legacy. Let's take a moment to understand the design of the Roosevelt dime in 1982. It retained the original Sinnock portrait and standard reverse featuring the torch olive branch and oak branch symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength respectively. The coin's composition was a clad structure made of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This had been the standard since 1965, after the U.S. removed silver from most circulating coins to cut costs. But while the metal content remained the same in 1982, the mystery surrounding the mint mark gave this year's dime a unique and collectible edge. In terms of mintage, the 1982 Roosevelt dime was struck at multiple mints, including Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. For proof coins, the total mintage across all types numbered in the hundreds of millions. But the no-P dimes account for only a tiny sliver of that total. It's estimated that only 15,000 to 25,000 no-P dimes were accidentally released into circulation. And today, fewer than that are known to survive in uncirculated or pristine condition, if you're lucky enough to find one. Even a circulated example can fetch hundreds of dollars, and if it's graded and in mint state condition, values can reach into the thousands. Some of the highest auction sales have gone over $10,000 for a single coin, depending on condition, rarity, and grading. The grading of the 1982 nu.P dime plays a huge role in its value. Coins are typically graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor to mint state 70, or proof 70. A nu.P dime in mint state 65 or higher can sell for a small fortune, especially if verified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC collectors. Seek these coins with full bands on the torch detail, meaning the horizontal bands are fully visible and well struck. This detail boosts value significantly because it indicates a strong, precise strike. The story of the 1982 dime doesn't stop at its value, though it highlights how even modern coins can carry immense value due to simple minting mistakes. It also shows how important it is to pay attention to the smallest details when collecting or handling change. You might have a dime that everyone else overlooks, but a trained eye can recognize the missing P and know that it means. Treasure. The nu.P dime has become a symbol of hidden potential and mystery, and has introduced a whole new generation to coin collecting. Now let's break down how to identify a valuable 1982 dime. If you have a Roosevelt dime from 1982, check the obverse just above the date and to the right of Roosevelt's neck. If there is no mint mark, and it's not a proof coin, there's a chance you're looking at the rare nu.P error coin. However, it's important to rule out other factors. For example, heavily worn coins might have had the mint mark rubbed away, so it's essential to look for sharp, clean details in the coin's design. If the strike is weak, the missing P might be from wear rather than an actual minting error, which greatly affects the value. The story of the 1982 dime is also a lesson in how the minting process works. In detail, the modern U.S. Mint uses a process involving blank planchets, dies, striking presses, and quality control measures. Yet even with sophisticated technology, errors like the nu.P dime can still occur. These mistakes often happen when dies are not properly prepared, or when human oversight leads to missed steps in the production cycle. It's this rare convergence of mechanical error and human lapse that can give rise to a legendary coin. The 1982 nu.P dime is a perfect example of how errors become history. Collectors today still actively search for 1982 dimes, hoping to strike gold in everyday pocket change. The thrill of the hunt, the rarity of the coin, and the story behind its creation have turned the nu.P dime into a modern myth within the numismatic community. While older silver dimes from pre-1965 often get more attention for their intrinsic value, the 1982 nu.P dime stands out purely because of its story, rarity, and accidental creation. It's a coin that tells us even in recent history, treasures can be found if you know where to look. For those looking to buy or sell a 1982 nu.P dime, it's essential to consult a reputable dealer or auction platform, and consider having your coin authenticated by a professional grading service. Authenticity is key because there are counterfeits out there that mimic the nu.P variety. Experienced graders know how to distinguish between natural nu.P strikes and altered coins, which is why third-party certification is critical to securing top dollar for your coin. As we continue exploring American coinage, we realize that every coin tells a story, and the 1982 dime tells a story of oversight, rarity, and discovery. It's a story that inspires coin collectors to look deeper and remain vigilant, because you never know which ordinary coin might be worth a fortune. Today's tale of the 1982 one-dime coin reminds us that even the smallest things in our pockets can carry the weight of history and the promise of unexpected value. So the next time you get change back from a store or dig through your old piggy bank, don't overlook that 1982 dime. Take a close look at the date and inspect the mint mark. You might just be holding one of America's most surprising coin treasures, one that connects a small minting mistake with the big world of collecting, investing, and historical fascination. Stay tuned to our channel for more stories like this. Subscribe, like, and share with fellow collectors. And remember, some coins may be small, but their stories are larger than life.